Hello and welcome to another studio vlog here at Kooky Towers. Not that we have any towers, but we're definitely kooky, so that fits. Here I am making some of my crochet jumper. I have to create 156 small granny squares in order to make this jumper, so I'm going to be doing this for quite some time. I've got probably about 100 done so far. That's a rough estimate, so I'm going to do a quick count up at the end of this and see how many more I've got left. Obviously I tend to use wool that I've already got in my little stash, and it's great for using up small odds and ends, although here I've got 3 quite big balls to use, so plenty for me to go at. But just thought you might appreciate seeing how I tackle one of the granny squares. Not that I'm giving you a tutorial on this, because there are so many great and wonderful tutorials already on YouTube. For instance, Bella Coco is one of the ones that I would recommend to you if you want to learn how to do this. And I'm not even going to attempt to try and better the best. So go and visit Bella Coco, or another one of the equally as good crochet tutorials that you can find here on YouTube to learn how to make your own granny square. I could not replicate the wonderfulness that they have already made, and so I'm just showing you my little technique here, along with all the screaming that goes on, which you thankfully won't be able to hear when I miss a stitch. I wouldn't say that I'm the best crocheter, but when I'm in the rhythm, I can get through, and it's quite relaxing. I think it's one of those things that when you do it, it's quite zen-like and helps you to just chill out. And I can do this and either listen to an audiobook or one of my favourite podcasts when I am doing it. Talking of podcasts, one of my favourite podcasts of the moment, and perhaps of all time, is the Mysterious Universe podcast. And I love to listen to some of that as I'm doing my either artwork or crochet. And it's great. If you want to listen to all things weird, conspiracy, and just downright strange, then pop along to Mysterious Universe and have a listen to their podcasts, and they get me through the day. Really helpful. The other thing I listen to is Audible. So not sponsored, by the way, just saying this is what I do when I'm busy doing things with my hands and I can't actually physically pick up a book to read. I will go to Audible and load up one of their wonderful books, and then I can be doing 2 in 1. So my brain is listening to something wonderful and my hands are also busy creating something that I hope will be wonderful. Not necessarily, but we give it a go, don't we? So the book I'm currently reading at the moment, I think it links in from a podcast I did last week, which was Abarat. The book's an Abarat by Clive Barker. And I love anything that he's written. So I went and dipped in and delved into a book that I have at home and have read numerous times, but I've never had it read to me. So I have gone for the beautiful Weave World. It is a fantastic book, just full of all kinds of the things that I have in my head when I listen to it, all the different visuals, that the things I was talking about in Abarat, where Clive Barker's actually given you the vision, is great. But the actual putting pictures to characters is something that I really enjoy. So yeah, Abarat is great. And the Weave World, the book that I'm listening to on Audible, is equally fabulous. I'm listening to quite a few books. I have a different book for each mood that I have. I don't have that many moods, but I do like to swap in and out of books, and so Audible gives me a chance to do that. And sometimes I will have quite a few credits left to use, so I'll stock up on things and I've got quite a few in my Audible queue to listen to. That's going to keep me busy for quite some time. Obviously, if I'm not in the mood for either reading or I've finished all my Mysterious Universe podcasts, I will then go to my wonderful playlists on Spotify and sometimes have a good sing along. I tend to do that when I'm painting rather than when I'm crocheting, because then I can just paint and sing and dance at the same time. Because a lot of the time I'm doing some of my bigger paintings that I'm working on at the moment, I will do on the standing desk in the middle of the studio. And that's just great. So I can dance around and have a sing while I'm creating. And that adds something to my artwork, I do believe. I don't know. I will leave you to judge that. But I feel that I've got more of my joy and soul into it when I've had a little dance and a sing when I've been creating. Anyway, enough of my waffle. You can sit and watch me finish off this very small granny square. So do enjoy. This week I have also been working on a personal project for me, which is to create some artwork for my lounge. We have space just over where we sit that can take 3 decent sized paintings, and I was going to do it as a triptych. So the first one is going to be a Mexican wolf, the second one is going to be an owl, and the third one, I'm not sure yet. So if you've got any ideas, I would like you to pop down to the comments and suggest the third animal in my triptych for me to have a look at. And who knows, it might be the one that you suggest that I decide to add into my collection of 3. This one is a wolf that I'm doing at the moment. I'm getting the black layers down. I always try and start with some dark layers and then build up with the colour on top of that, so that I've got my dark areas in there. And then I've gone with some really bright Mexican vibe colours to go with the background, which is quite abstract. The animal itself will also be stylized, obviously, and with some markings on him. So that's what we're going with at the minute. The colours I'm using, as I say, are quite bright and vibrant, and they are acrylics. So I've got some PBO and some Liquitex acrylics going down there, which are quite matte. So they're the matte variety. I've also got some Deco Art matte acrylics going on. I'm throwing all my favourite colours at it, basically. So they're all going on in layers at the moment. And as I was painting this, I was listening to some Latin music, so I was dancing around the canvas and just adding things in where I thought they needed to go. So yeah, just having a fun time. Here I am getting a neutral colour on my central figure, which is a wolf, just to get a handle on where he is going to sit within the piece. Obviously I don't like painting on white, so I just put in a neutral buff colour just so that I've got an idea of where I can play around with the background and do whatever. So yeah, enjoy this. I quite like adding in the little splashes and flashes of colour to break up the black, what I will do is break down the black with the colour, then bring some of the colours back in, add in some texture, just building up lots and lots of layers to get some depth and texture into my piece. While I was in the painting mood, I decided to use up some of my spare paint to create a smaller piece. This is a 30cm by 30cm canvas panel, and I decided to go with some happy friends who are also birds, and they're sat in this beautiful blue tree on a very colourful background. As you can see, these are the colours that I have been using in my wolf painting, so to use up the leftovers I thought I would create this little piece. Not sure whether this one is going to be in my shop for sale or whether I'll actually fall in love with it and want to keep it, which sometimes happens with my pieces. But I may do prints of things as well, so I could keep the actual original and sell some prints. So again, if you like these, let me know what you think, whether I should make some prints of these to put in my Etsy shop. I'd be very interested to know. I also have decided to use some mixed media in this piece as well. So it's going to be acrylics and some other things that you will see as we go along. Here I'm using the Stabilo Woody pencil in like a dark blue, just to add some shadows to the tree. These particular pencils are also water soluble, and sometimes I add water to them just to water them down, then go back in with some more of the colour to add it back in. Also a little bit of golden paint, because you do know my inner magpie screams for metallics, and so the golden fluid metallics are always really good to use. So they're going in here, as you can see. just dotted around in different areas. I don't want to overwhelm it because it's quite bright and colourful, so it doesn't need too much, but I do like my metallics, I do like my glitz, so we have to pop some of that in there in order to satisfy that inner magpie. The magpie popped up to say, no, you need more. So I grabbed hold of my metallic size and I'm going to put some foiling into this. Magpie demands it, so we have to do it. I'm looking for areas just to do some small spots of foiling. Some of it might be slightly off camera, sorry about that. I got caught up in the moment and didn't check my monitor. But yeah, you can see, the only way you can see the sizing is that it kind of shines a little bit. So you leave that for 15 minutes to dry off slightly. So I've put about 3 or 4 spots of it on there. And magically we'll be coming back now with my foiling. I have many different varieties of foiling. I do have gold and silver leaf, which I do sometimes use, but these bits have got more of a, I don't know, variegation to them, and they just screamed at me that they wanted to be in this particular picture because they're very vibrant and they fit with all the other vibrant colours that I've got going on there. So here I am laying it down on top. It works exactly the same way as gold and silver leaf, except it is just a metallic leaf, basically, a very thin leaf with lots of different colours in it, which is quite nice. So I'll lay that down on top of the areas that I've got. You can see it sticking down there quite nicely. And I'll make sure that all the area of sizing is covered up. And then I go in with my little stippling brush to get rid of the excess. And it kind of blends in really nicely and buffs up on the picture so that there's a nice shine going on, which is contrast to the golden metallic that I've already put there. I'm not obsessed, really, I'm not. I just do like a bit of shine in my paintings. But yeah, so that's what's going on here. I don't quite know what I'm doing off camera here. Probably just clearing off all the little bits of sizing off my painting, and then there it is. You can see the pot with all the sizing, or the foil in it, and it's kind of just kept that way until I need it. There it is, all nice and shiny. Then after that I have some Faber-Castell gelatos, which I also love to use because these are just so versatile and they work, as I say, wet or dry. You can crumble them, do them as a spray, but in this instance I'm just using them to darken the shadows behind the tree. I'm sorry again, my painting's gone off the frame, but I do come up a little bit to work on the top bits there, so you still can see that. I do apologise, I need to correct myself and make sure that everything is in frame when I'm filming it. I thought you might like to see a little bit of this process, so I'll pop this in too, even though it's not the best filmed process, but you can see what I'm doing. I'm laying down my gelato and then just smoothing it in with my finger just to get those dark shadows in, and I think it adds something to the painting when it does that. So I've been really enjoying doing the Haunted Homes and Gardens challenge over on Instagram. I think I mentioned this last week in my vlog, and this is one of the pieces. I have just inked it onto my postcard size watercolour paper, which I've been working on for the whole of this series. Yeah, and it's an ancient tree. Here he is looking quite happy. And now I'm going to go in with some watercolour. I use Daniel Smith's watercolour. I do use other watercolours. I've got some Schmincke and other ones, but this is the one, the palette, my go-to palette, which is mainly filled with Daniel Smith and a few other brands. I'll probably pop it on and show you at the end of this so that you can see the tools that I've been using for this particular challenge. I like doing challenges because it does stretch me. It makes me do things that I wouldn't otherwise do and gives me ideas for other pieces I want to do in my own work. This is obviously my own work, but it's just like working to a challenge is always different. It's kind of, it gives you a little deadline as well, and it gives you ideas of things that you wouldn't normally do, and the whole of this series appealed to me greatly. So yeah, just enjoy the process of me laying down some watercolour, and I'll play you some fancy music in the background. Once the watercolour is all completed and dry, I will then go in with some of my pencil crayons. The ones that I have to hand at the moment are the Caran d'Ache Museum. I think they're aquarellable, which means that they are able to be broken down with water. But for this one I decided just to use them as a pencil because they're quite soft and nice to use for the shading. And I mixed those with some Derwent Lightfast pencils that I had on my desk as well. Both of these work really well together. They're very kind of soft and creamy and work great for adding in detail and shading, which is what I did with the ones that I'm using. And here's a finished piece. It's got little sprinkles and little bits of glitz on him as well. So there he is. And here, as promised, is my shot of my watercolour palette with my Deleter ink pen and my FW ink in a Payne's Grey that I've been using for the outlines. Thank you so much for popping by and joining me for my vlog. If you liked this, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I upload. Ta-ta for now.